International efforts to get North Korea to come to the table about its nuclear program and the threat it poses to the Korean Peninsula and beyond have intensified in recent weeks. Following a White House announcement that President Donald Trump would meet with North Korean leader Kim Jong-un, North Korea has not formally acknowledged any such meeting. Over the past several days, representatives from the United States, Japan, South Korea, and North Korea have been talking in Finland, Sweden, and San Francisco to formalize an agenda for talks. Gilbert Rossman with the Foreign Policy Research Institute says Kim Jong-un has one very clear goal in mind.
He wants recognition of North Korea as a kind of an equal state, and to have that, he has to keep his nuclear weapons, or to have some amazing relationship where the whole region recognizes North Korea as a strong power which will be heavily rewarded. So he wants to shape the future of the Korean Peninsula and get the right balance of power in Northeast Asia to preserve his regime and give him clout.
VOA Korean service reporter Connie Kim says UN sanctions have forced Kim Jong-un to consider talks, resulting in Kim's recent statement that he was open to dialogue with Seoul.
He's extending an olive branch to South Korea, but at the same time, he's threatening the U.S. that he has a nuclear button on his desk, which is he's probably wanting to make that rift between the two allies and get an ease of sanctions.
John Lanchowski is president of the Institute of World Politics. He says the United States should attempt to change the narrative Kim's citizens have heard for decades.
I think that we need to start thinking not simply about relations with the North Korean government. We have to think about relations with the North Korean people. This is public diplomacy, and that means connecting with them. It means letting them know that we care about their human rights, that we are not the monsters that the regime makes us out to be.
Gilbert Rossman says regardless of whether the talks become reality, expectations should be muted.
People who are getting their hopes up that this meeting is going to provide a real answer, I think are too optimistic. What we really can expect is we begin a process of negotiations where North Korea promises something and pledges to go forward, and then all of the other countries, China, Russia, Japan, South Korea, enter into the fray trying to shape this process, and North Korea tries to play on the differences, what each country wants to get an advantage. It may sound like we're getting denuclearization, but that's so far off.
Last week, the U.S. National Security Advisor said Washington is determined to keep up its policy of maximum pressure on North Korea to denuclearize. Robert Raffaele, VOA News.